Well, and that may be true because you're kind of like you've quit. But you'll be surprised with conic sections because you're going to work 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these, and 3 of these. And the repetitiveness of it will make a little bit of it stick. It'll be okay. All right? So here's the first one. X squared plus y squared equals 2y minus 6x. Okay? So the first thing, y'all did pretty good on that worksheet yesterday. So do you know what this is? Very good. It's a circle. All right? So you need to look at your little sheet that has all your info on it. And, of course, look at the side that has a circle. Now, you'll notice on a circle that it has all the x's and y's on one side and the plain numbers on the other side. Okay? So, that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to move the 2x. Oh, pardon me, that's supposed to be a 6. That's supposed to be a 2y. I was like, whoa, something's wrong here. That's a y. Okay, so I'm going to go, watch what I'm going to do. X squared, when this negative 6x moves over here, it becomes positive 6x. I'm going to leave a space, okay, and then plus y squared, and then when that 2y moves over here, what does it become? Minus 2y, and then I'm going to leave a space, and then what's left over here? Nothing. Very good. All right. Now, I have to complete the square. Y'all, every one of these you have to complete the square, okay? So we start off pretty easy, and it's not bad. Remember how to complete the square. Half of 6 is, and 3 squared is? So I'm going to say plus 9. Now, if I add 9 over here, what? Y'all, stop that. Thank you. Y'all, look, you're trying to keep things equal. If you add 9 to this side and then you subtract 9 from this side, you're way unequal now. Okay? You're not like taking a problem, making it worse. So, add 9 to this side, what? Thank you. Stop. Add 9 to this side. So, what's half of 2? What's 1 squared? So, I add 1 here and? Very good. What? I was talking to Dallin. Oh, no, I was talking to Dallin. He said add 1. All right. So now I'm going to write this as a quantity squared. It will always be the square root of the first. You will always keep this first sign. Y'all, the last sign will always be a plus. You'll keep this first sign. And then the square root of the last, 3, which is also half this middle number. Quantity squared. Plus, there's the plus sign right there. We're going to write this as a quantity squared. Square root of the first, keep the sign, square root of the last, quantity squared. Equals, what's 9 and 1? All right. Now it looks just like the circle formula, okay? This is r squared, okay? On the worksheet, it's going to have a box, and what it wants you to do is put everything that you're supposed to find in that box, and I already drew the graph for you, okay? So we'll just draw us a little graph.
This is for just the 4 problems, right?
The 4 problems? You're going to have 12. I'm doing 4, 1 of each. Yep.
Oh, this is the worksheet.
Yeah, this is the worksheet. This isn't the test. Y'all, this is not on the test. Okay? The test is just, what is it? No. All right. So let's find all the stuff. The first thing that they tell us to find is the center. What's the center of the circle? Very good. -3, 1. Notice that you always, every formula is x minus h and x minus k. So you always change the signs. All right? The next thing they asked us to find was the radius. What's the radius of this circle? The square root of 10. And I want it left like that. Okay? Now I am going to go out here and say the square root of 10 is approximately 3.2. And the reason is because I'm going to use that to graph it. The next thing it says is graph that dude. So I'll go over here. His center is -3, 1. Okay? Now look, I don't want to lose you, but every class period I've lost the kids from here. Now if the radius is 3.2, right? then can I go up 3.2, down 3.2, right 3.2, left 3.2, and make a circle and be fine? That's what I'm going to do. Okay? So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and a 0.2. I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 0.2. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 0.2. What in the world? I'm going to go left 1, 2, 3.2. Did y'all hear that? Yeah. Sounded like someone running or something.
Some of my lines are closer than the other ones.
Okay, so here's my circle. Mine looks like a potato, but that's okay. All right?
I missed on the right side.
It's all right.
Missed the
It's
line.
okay. So, looks like a potato with eyes. Do y'all know what the eyes of a potato are? Boys, do y'all know what the eyes of a potato are? Why? Because last period, none of the boys knew what potato eyes were. They were like, eyes of a potato. Yeah, they're those little white things. No, it's not a trick question. They didn't even know. Well, I don't know. It's the ones over here. They didn't even know they were called eyes. I'm like, they're poisonous. You cut them out. So, they are poisonous.
I eat the whole potato.
Well, I know, because somebody washed it and took the eyes
In the
out.
store, yeah. If you were just pulling out of the ground, it'd be like, with stuff on it. I did not know what it was.
Okay, so, no, I'll probably just make it 6. Anybody got a question? That's it. See? Boom. Shut up.
We're working for this.
Now, here's number 2. 5x squared plus 24y plus 1 equals 10x minus 4y squared. Okay, y'all look, in order to talk about the x squared and y squared, where do they have to be? Okay, so when you pull this negative 4y squared over here, it'll be a positive 4y squared. Okay, so then they'll have an x squared and a y squared, same sign, but different coefficients. That's what makes that thing an ellipse.
Oh, that's plus 1 screwed
Something's wrong. Okay, thank you. But I'm going to say this. Don't call it an eclipse. It's not an eclipse. Okay? That's what I've heard all day today. They'll say, it's eclipse. And I go, it's not an eclipse. Okay? It's an ellipse. So, alright. So here's what we're going to do for an ellipse. Look at the formula for an ellipse. It looks a little wacky, but we're going to do it just like a circle. And then when we get that number over here by itself, we'll divide everything by that number, and that will make it a 1. Okay? So, that means I'm putting all the x's and y's on the left, plain numbers on the right. So, I have 5x squared minus 10x. I'm going to leave a space. I'm going to have plus 4y squared plus 24y. Going to leave a space. Equals, when that positive 1 comes over here, what does he become? Perfect. Okay. So now I want to complete the square, but I got a little problem because you can't complete the square unless the coefficient of the x squared is, that's right, is 1. So I'm going to take that 5 out. They're all pretty nice. If you get into them and they start being ugly, you probably messed up somewhere, okay? Because it didn't just write these things down on a piece of paper. I made them up special just for you. All right, when you take a 5 out, what do you get? Perfect. Okay, I still want to leave that thing. Now look, this is where your teacher pounded into your head that it might be wise to draw the rainbow. All right, because if you don't, you'll forget that whatever you add here, you really added 5 times that.
I haven't forgot yet.
Okay? Oh, well, famous last words. Plus, take out a 4, and what are you left with? Perfect.
Wait, why did you do this? I had you 4. I like the number. I don't know what I thought.
You have what? It's soaked up. Some of the water's soft.
That crunchy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the same thing, guys. What's half of 2? What's 1 squared? So I'm going to go plus 1. Did you really add 1? You added 5 times 1, so I added 5. All right, let's do this one. What's half of 6? What's 3 squared? Did you really add 9? Really added 36. Okay, so this is going to be 5. I'm going to write it as a quantity squared. Square root of the first, keep the sign, square root of the last, quantity squared. Plus 4 times square root of the first, keep the sign, square root of the last, quantity squared. Over here, 4 and 36 is 40. Yeah. All right. So now what we want is we want a 1 right here. So I'm going to divide this by 40 to make that 1, but that makes me divide everybody by 40. That's okay. Yep, they're all going to be pretty nice, okay? Because that's what the formula says on your sheet. Okay, so notice how nice that is. How many times does 5 go into 40? 8. So this is going to be x minus 1 quantity squared over 8 plus. How many times does 4 go into 40? So now we got y plus 3 quantity squared over 10 equals 1. Now it looks just like your worksheet, okay? Now I want to know that one of these is an a squared and one of them is a b squared. How do you know which one's which? Okay, a squared is a bigger one, so this is going to be a squared. That's exactly right, and this one's going to be b squared. So here's what Trey said. Trey said, hey, this big guy, he's under the y, so that means my major axis, that 2a, is running up and down with that y-axis. So that means this thing is going to be vertical. Okay? Next thing it asks us to find is the center. What's the center? 1, negative 3. Perfect. The next thing it asks us to find is the major axis. Now, the major axis is 2a. So, over here, if a squared is 10, then a is the square root of 10. Y'all agree with that? Okay, and so twice that would be 2 square root of 10. Now, I'm going to tell you something else that I'm going to do. Just because it'll make it nice to graph, I'm going to go over here and say that's approximately 3.2. Because when I graph from the center, I'm going to go up 3.2 and down 3.2. Okay? I'm going to say B is what? Simplify it. Simplify it. 2 times what? Square root of 2. 2 times the square root of 2. Okay? And that's going to be approximately 2.8. All right? See what? 2 square root of 2? Square root of 8? Yeah, that's algebra. 4 times 2. 2 square root of 2. All right. So the minor axis is twice 2 square root of 2. What's that going to be? 4 square root of 2. And I want the exact numbers on these guys. I don't want them rounded off. I don't want those rounded off. What's the next thing you have to find? Now, his eccentricity. His eccentricity, which is how round or elongated that he is. Okay? The eccentricity is C over A. So we've got A. We have to find C. C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. That should be written on your paper somewhere. So that's going to be 10 minus 8. So C squared is 2 So C is the square root of 2. So E is the square root of 2 over the square root of 10. And then I just want you to poke that in your calculator. Okay? What is the square root of 2 over the square root of 10? .447. Okay. So this is .447. That's his eccentricity.
So it's not really flat, not really long.
That's exactly right. He's just kind of average. Nothing really special. He's not going to be really, really round. He's not going to be really, really stretched out. He's just going to be kind of average. All right. On your paper, I put the box and I drew the graph. So everybody's graph should look kind of the same. It'll make it easier for me to grade it. And if I needed to, like, cheat, maybe I...
So is 5 really, really stretched?
The closer it is to 0, the rounder it is. The closer it is to 1, the more elongated it is.
Over 1?
Huh?
Never go over 1.
Yeah, won't ever go over 1. Okay. So, let's graph it. My center is 1, -3. Now, here's where you got to stop and think. This thing's vertical, so my A's are going up and down. So, A is about 3.2, so I'm going to go up 3.2, 1, 2, 3.2. I'm going to go down 3.2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.2. My B's are going left and right. B's about 2.8, so I'm going to go right, 1, 2, not quite 3. And then left, 1, 2, not quite 3. And there's my ellipse. Now look, is this a hard? Y'all, look. No. You're looking at this sheet, okay? You're looking at this sheet. I just want to tell you that used to in Algebra 2, you did this stuff without a cheat sheet, okay?
This looks more like a circle than a circle.
Yeah. Oh, well. Mine looks like all he needs. That's the lip. That's Miss Potato Head. Because it's not. Okay? Charlie's wearing his earrings. And a big fat nose. Alright. Yeah. Might as well have some fun. Alright. Yeah, I did during Algebra 2. I'm just about finished, people. I'm about ready to quit. What? To subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Really, to give us a thumbs up, because we talk about explicit things in here. Alright, so y squared minus 12x equals 2y minus 25. Oh, what is it? Oh, that's an easy one. People, if you miss a parabola, shame on you. Okay? Shame on you. That's right. It's the only one that has just an x squared or a y squared. He's hard to miss. Okay, now I'm going to say this. The way that we put a parabola in the proper form is a lot different than what you're accustomed to. Okay? So look at the formulas. They're over there on the board. All right? Now, the first thing I'm going to ask myself is I'm going to try to figure out, is this thing up or down or right or left?
Right or left?
How do you know it's right or left?
Because it's y squared.
Very good. The y is squared. So look what it does. It puts all the y's on the left and all the x's and plain numbers on the right. Okay? So this one's going to be y squared minus 2y. I'm going to leave a space because I have to complete the square again. And then over here it's going to be 12x minus 25. Alright, so let's complete the square over here. What's half of 2? 1. What's 1 squared? 1. So I'm going to add 1 where? Both sides. Alright, so this is going to be y what? Minus 1 quantity squared is equal to 12x minus 24. Okay, now look at your formula. Huh?
Where's the
After
4
I
coming
didn't
from?
do the square. I added 1 on one side, so I had to round it on the other.
Where's the
Look
4
at the
coming from?
what?
Where's the 4 coming from?
Well, hang on just a second. Look at the formula. On the formula, it says on the right-hand side, it says 4p times x minus h, right? Okay, so notice that it's just an x over there. So that means whatever's in front of the x, you're going to have to pull it out. Okay? So this is going to be y minus 1 quantity squared is equal to, what am I going to take out? 12. When you factor 12 out, what are you left with? X minus 2. Now it looks exactly like it looks over there. Okay? What is 4p? What is 4p? 12. So p must be 3. Now, that's what tells you, okay, which way it opens. Alright? And which way does it open? To the right. And the reason is because p is positive. If p were negative, now notice how different that is. Okay? That's not over here on this. Alright? It's over here. So be careful. What's the next thing we have to find? The vertex. Alright? So what is my vertex?
1.
Yeah, be really careful because your brain's reading from left to right, but you got y's over there and x's over here. So be sure and put them in the right order. X's go with x's and y's go with y's. The next thing you have to find is the focus. Okay? Now y'all listen to me. I'm not going to use that formula to find the focus. I'm going to use my brain. Okay? Because it works a lot better than the formula. So I'm going to draw the graph for you, and I'm going to show you how to just think about what's going on and how to find the focus and the directrix. Really easy. And then I don't have to depend so much on those formulas. Because here's the deal. You're going to have to decide, am I supposed to add p or subtract p? Because it's not plus and minus p, it's plus or minus. You add for one and subtract for the other. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to graph the vertex. It's at 2, 1. Now this parabola is opening to the right. Now I know that the focus goes inside the parabola. So is the focus to the right of the vertex or the left? Okay. And look at the picture on your sheet, okay? Or look at the one up there on the board. How far away is the focus from the vertex? P units. What did you say P was? 3. So I'm going to count 3 units to the right. 1, 2, 3. Bam. There's my focus right there. What's its point? 5, 1. Oh, okay. 5, 1. The next thing you have to find is the directrix. Now, y'all, the directrix is just the opposite direction, the same number of units. So if I went 3 units to the right to get the focus, where am I going to get the directrix? 3 units to the left. 1, 2, 3. So here it is. And we do make a solid line because we're using it in our graph. And so what's the equation of that? What's the equation of that? X equals -1. Okay? If you just write -1, I'm going to mark it wrong. Okay? Because it's a line. You got to tell me that. Now, what's the last thing you have to find? The lattice rectum. This is simply how big that parabola is across. Always think about, this tells how big his butt is. Okay? That's pretty much what it says. Alright? It is 4p, so it is 12. That means it runs through the focus, guys. If the whole section is 12, that means I go up how many? 6. And down how many? 6. And then I make my parabola. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My pencil quit moving. All right. So here's 6 up. Then I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here is my parabola. Hush, Kane. All right. Now this is, I always draw the lattice rectum, okay? I know it's 12 units. Notice, y'all, this is the definition of it. A locus of points in a plane that are equidistant from a given point, so the distance from here to here and a given line, and here to here are the same distance. Doesn't matter where I check it. Here to here, here to here. Okay? Well, it's not exactly mine, but anyway, it's supposed to be. Okay, is that all we have to find? All right. So all we lacked is the hyperbola. Do y'all want to try to do it? Okay. All right, we'll try it. Here it is. The last one. The more time you get on your worksheet, you're right. 25x squared minus, yeah, of course. I'll just go up here. They can just listen. 25x squared minus 150x minus 8y equals 4y squared minus 121. Looks like some really horrible big numbers, but remember what I said. They made nice for you, okay? So notice that the hyperbola looks like an ellipse. So we're going to do the same thing we did for the ellipse. We're going to move all the x's and the y's over on the left. We're going to keep the plain numbers over on the right, okay? And then we'll complete the square. So 25x squared minus 150x, leave a place, minus 4y squared minus 8y, leave a place, and then equals negative 121.
150 squared?
What?
I'm going to do half of 150 squared.
No, we're going to take out a 25, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, you can't complete the square until you take that out.
Yeah, never mind.
It's going to make it pretty nice for you. X squared minus, what's that? 6x? And then I'm going to draw that rainbow thing. Okay? Now, this is the one you're going to have to be careful, because what am I taking out? A negative 4. Okay? So be careful doing that. And then you're left with a y squared what? Plus 2y. Very good. I'm going to draw that rainbow again. And then equals negative, what? 121. Okay, so let's do our stuff. What's half of 6? 3 squared is 9. So I add 9, but did you really add 9? That is 9 times 25, which is 225. So that's what I'll add over here. Nice. What's half of 2? 1 squared is, did you really add 1? You subtracted 4. That's a negative 4 out there, so I'm going to subtract 4 over here. Oh, look at there. Beautiful. 25 times x minus 3 quantity squared. Nice, okay? Minus 4 times y plus 1 quantity squared equals 100. Look here, guys. Okay? So let's divide by 100.
Does that happen every time?
We want it to be a 1.
Does that happen every time? Miss Davis,
What?
does that happen every time?
I'm not going to say, haven't I told y'all, never say always and never say never, okay? Never say always and never say never. Don't say, my kids will never act like that.
Because they will?
They'll throw down in that grocery store. act like a bunch
It
of
happens
things.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that on the test worksheet?
It's a worksheet. Good night, it's not hard to figure out, okay? So, over here. Okay, now, who is A? Yeah, don't be looking at this going, oh, big guy's A. No, it's not. It's not the big guy, it's the first one. So this is A squared, and this is B squared. Okay? He's telling you which way he goes.
Vertical.
Because it's on your sheet. It says A squared is circle.
Which horizontal?
He's going with the x-axis. He's horizontal. Okay? He's horizontal. Because the A is with the X, so he's running with the x-axis. Okay? No, that's fine up there. That negative. Okay? What's his center? Very good.
I think we should do the rest tomorrow.
Vertices. Don't do the rest of it tomorrow?
Yeah, because that vertices stuff confused me.
Alright, it's not bad. It's not bad. We'll finish it tomorrow. Yeah.
Please, David.
What else are you starting on like?
Can I take my test on Thursday before this class? Because I might be missing the end of your class, so I don't want to chance I not have enough time to finish.
You should have plenty of time to finish it, but